Yeah, you see. We're always going to say that's one of the variations on the meaning.
Well, we say the world is created with the letters. Each letter has it. That's everything. Every word in Hebrew, the combination of letters is the source of that letter. That's not for here. Mm-hmm. But also, Amen, or Amen as they say, is actually an acronym of Kel Melech Ne'eman. God is a trusting king. Mm-hmm. We can always trust in God. The difference between emunah and trust, and if my friend Baruch is listening to this, he'll probably argue with me. But emunah is I really believe in God. I know God is out there. I know God is there to help me. Okay? But when someone says to you, someone says to you, okay, fall back and I'll catch you. How many people are going to put their feet together, lean back and fall and expect their friends to catch them? That's trust. Trust is that next step. You actually are putting your hands in God's hands. Now, you're not doing something which is foolish. You're doing something that is wise, which you think is wise. But you know if you're doing it for the right reasons, for the good reasons, then you trust that God will make sure that it comes up for the best.
I have a slightly different spin. Slightly.
Naturally.
Right, so I wouldn't be here. Guy shows 10 fingers. He says, I know, I have knowledge, I have data, I have knowledge, 10 fingers. Puts his hands behind his back. I believe I have 10 fingers. That's the emuna, that's belief. They were here a minute ago. Faith is I have 11 fingers. It's against the evidence. When some people use the word, we have all through legislation, a faith-based school, etc. Faith is, I think it's a misuse of the English word, or purposely misused, but faith is against the evidence. And I'm sensitive to hearing it all the time, and
But that's not emunah is a different word.
Right.
It's really different.
You and I probably use it more correctly than the common English-speaking man.
Okay, so let us continue now.
Yeah.
It's my turn to tell. Let's go back to the text.
Okay, we're on verse 5.
You sure? We just did that one. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Let's do it again. It doesn't hurt to repeat. Matter of fact, it says, trust in the Lord. B'tach el Hashem. B'tach is the word security also. With all your heart. And do not rely on your understanding. You don't know why God told you to do these things, why He led you that way, but you have to trust in God. That's what's going to happen. Especially when the cop comes and arrests you for no reason. Okay, right. God had a reason.
We're going there, are we?
We're not going there. No, we're not going. Know Him in all your ways.
I told you not to go there.
Sorry, I apologize. Know Him in all your ways, and He will direct your paths. And that's a beautiful idea. That God will direct you. It's a long story. Life is a long story. And it's not instantaneous gratification. It's not instantaneous answers. It's not instantaneously finding what you want. You have to know that God is there. The answer is going to come sooner or later. You just have to be patient.
It's a long game.
It's a long game. Do not be wise in your own sight. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Which is again what I said earlier. Your own morals, your own values. Everyone puts their own thoughts, and you can put your own thoughts into it, but you have to have that strong foundation of understanding God's Torah.
It means, Bruce, don't tell yourself you're right again. Right? Do not be wise in your own eyes. It's counterfeit.
What do you mean?
That's what that line is. Don't be a jerk and think you're right all the time.
Again?
Yeah, it's daily.
Again?
Yes.
When was the first time?
Yesterday, when I woke up, I had some stupid thought.
I'm going to ask your wife. Okay. Don't go
I would say, well, listen, I'm setting myself up as a straw man, but I'm confident most people are wrong many times during the day because they have an arrogant thought.
That's true. You're in your bubble.
Very nice.
You're in
I
your
like
bubble.
that.
That's what it basically is. You think you're right.
What's that called? It's the diagram. There's a name. It's not a Venn diagram, or there's a name for that type of diagram.
Bubble.
Okay, fine. It works for me. Fine.
It shall be healing for your navel and marrow for your bones. This is one of these passages where if you just read it without commentaries, it doesn't make any sense.
And even if they go to flesh, as something like I spent a little time on it. One said, how can I put it? Some you want to quickly gloss over because it doesn't, like Eve was made out of a rib. You don't want to spend time because it could have been a kneecap. We don't really know that one exclusive
Well, it's
thing.
called the spare rib, you know.
Right. No, same with colors. We don't want to spend too much time on certain colors.
We can look at the commentaries again. We don't have the time necessarily.
Yeah.
But
we're on.
and as some again, we're sort of going over this quickly. One commentary, to that David, explains that the safeguards he imposes upon himself will strengthen him in his observance of the commandments. So, what this means is, again, a lot of discussions, not for now. You can spend an hour on just a few of these sentences alone, and that's not the intention here. We want to go through some of the beautiful thoughts there in this chapter. We continue. Honor the Lord from your substance and from the first of your grain. The first, when it says from your substance, it means you, from who you are.
Mm-hmm. This simple translation says wealth. And
he also says from your throat, meaning when you talk to God, you say? Give praise to God. That's what it also means, who you are. And from your first, the grain is also relates to the tithe, and this from your wealth, giving charity and things of that nature. And your barns shall be filled with plenty, and your vats will overflow with new wine. It's just simply saying if you follow God's teachings and being good.
Also, if we have time, if we had, in a perfect world, if we had time, we'd see the difference between full granaries and overflowing vats of wine. What's the big difference?
Well, he actually says it's actually going to break apart. There's going to be so much you won't even be able to hold it. That's the actual word in Hebrew. For the vat.
The
vat's going to just break. It's going to be
I see. Oh, it's bigger.
It's just so much.
Oh, so the other one's big, and this one's, and the second one's bigger.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, very good. Very good. Oh, and you getting that? Okay.
Hey, and this again,
we should let 10% of our audience fall asleep now, right?
Fall asleep. I'm wide awake. I went to bed early last night to prepare for this.
Let's go forward.
Okay. Actually, this is a perfect opportunity. We're not going to go through that. That's not part of our discussion here. But you see, the whole point.
You know what we should do? Oh, and break time?
Oh, it's time for commercial?
Oh, what do you think? Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Do I read something? Can I read something? Can I read the...
You want to read this?
I want to read the script. I can sell something.
I'll tell you.
No, I can't sell?
Ladies and gentlemen, now a word from our sponsor.
Yes, so I sell you soap. But
We're back with our guest, Chaim Shainhouse, and as my notes say, Chaim, can you summarize everything in the chapter that we covered?
Sure.
Oh, good. We got to make a decision. Do we want to plow through, or do we want to summarize at this point? We're at the 3/4 mark now. No, we're at the halfway mark. Sorry.
Well, let me not summarize, but let me look at the next sentence,
Go ahead.
the next pasuk, as we call it, and then bring a new concept into here, which is relating to everything we've done so far. It says, "The Lord chastens the one who loves, the one He loves, as a father placates the son." It's an amazing concept.
What's so amazing?
When a person is chastised, usually we in today's society look upon that very negatively.
Yeah, sure.
Even today, a father, to society, the laws of this country made it a parent can't even punish, not punish.
Right.
What's the wrong word?
Corporal.
You can't punish the child. If the child does something wrong,
you can't use corporal punishment.
Almost anything. Give him a touch. Nothing. Yell at him. You're insulting him. And the parents are afraid to do anything. That's what happens today.
You know what I did? My chief discipline with my kids. I'm disappointed. And that had an impact. I've said it for years.
Could be. We say that only a person who loves will chastise. Because you really care about that person. What he's doing or she is doing is so bad, will hurt them, hurt somebody else, that we're prepared to take the scorn that they may put upon us because we're chastising them. They think we're supposed to love them and be nice to them, give them everything they want. That isn't what a parent's supposed to do. A parent is not a friend. A parent is a parent, there to guide. And that's very important. And what God is saying, I'm your father. When you do something wrong, I'm there to show that you're stepping out of line.
It's so easy to say, I don't care. It's so easy to say, I don't have to take the burden of the fallout from the rotten kid.
Yep.
Or employee.
And it's not easy, especially in today's society. And that's why God doesn't care. Because we are his children, all of us. There's all mankind are God's children. Doesn't matter who you are, what you believe in, there's one God. He's the father of all of us. And he's there to chasten all of us, to teach all of us. Now, we don't have to accept it. We can ignore it. And we just put it aside. Or we can take it realizing it's coming from love. And therefore the sentence tells us, fortunate is the man. For the Lord chastens the one he loves as he placates the son. If you don't love a person, as you're saying, you're just going to ignore them.
Okay.
That's what it's.
That's lovely. That's a lovely nugget of wisdom I'm trying to bring forth in the show. That's real woke, not that crap woke. That's wisdom. Okay.
I'm not trying to sell anything.
Right.
Oh, at the end we're gonna have my book that you can write, or all the products that will make you skinny.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. We're selling.
You have to
vitamins.
watch for 20 minutes, and after 20 minutes, they're just trying to.
When
sell you
I'm
something.
in Toronto, I use this type of gel.
That's true. It works. It works for me. We continue. Fortunate is the man who has found wisdom, and a man who gives forth discernment. It's a similar idea. Similar that you've taken your knowledge and you've developed it into wisdom. And you use it. And he's discerning with it. For its commerce is better than the commerce of silver, and its gain is better than fine something.
Gold.
Fine gold. I missed that word. If you think about it today, and it's less today than it was maybe a few years ago. Education is the basis for the development of society. Without education, we're nothing. That why our society is so successful, because we've pushed education. And you find university professors. What do? They just study and they create new papers and they create new ideas. That's what's for it. It's to teach you. Education and developing who you are is much more valuable. The guy can have a lot of silver, can be very wealthy. Who cares if he's a boor? A guy doesn't act properly. Who cares what he's worth? Who cares what he has? But it's a person who's refined. And a person has knowledge. Who do you want to go listen to? You want it as a lecture by the rich guy who speaks profanity, or a person who has knowledge to impart to you? Most of us want to go hear that person who has the knowledge, because it's worth more than anything else.
Well, I should tell you about a competing podcast. So I'm listening to Jordan Peterson's podcast. He interviewed Rex Murphy a couple weeks ago.
Is he the he, you, it guy?
Yeah. But you should not a force to dismiss a Canadian hero in the intellectual world.
I hear he's a great guy.
But I'm interviewing Conrad Black now. They're both talking about their university educations, what it was for them, what it wasn't for them. Completely fascinating.
I love Conrad Black, unless he gets into religion. Then he goes wacky.
Yeah, well, here he was talking about prison, he was talking about his father. Just a strong recommendation.
He's wise man. He's a wise man. I've never heard Peterson speak, but I read Black's
Oh man, you're missing out. Number one book on Amazon.
I'm reading a little Mishlei,
Right, I'm digressing.
I want to read.
Just slap me.
Remember, his knowledge is his own. I want to read real knowledge, which will get me somewhere.
I sympathize with that statement, but it's deeper, runs deeper.
Sure it is. I mean, when people read, I always wonder why they read books. What's the point? It seems to be a waste of time. But that's the relaxation. I can accept it as real. You want to go for a walk, you want to read a book, you want to listen to music, all those things are fine. Me, I like to study. I'm studying Jewish source books, which are giving me more wisdom to understand people better. to make me a better person so that I can help, use that word help very, very carefully because people don't always want your help. But more or less, if they see how I behave and how I act, and if I act in a good way, they can see a person acting in a good way and learn from that.
In the first paragraph, it's in the subtext. Maybe we'll have time to go into that.
Okay.
Like we glossed over it, but that's leapt out to me.
Okay. So he said, it's more precious than pearls, and all your desirable things cannot be compared to it, which is wisdom. Length of days is in its right hand, in its left hand are riches and honor. What does he mean by that? Here we have to look at the commentary. It's quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It says, one who observes the commandments of the Torah, Bible or the Torah, will meet any obstacles in its observance. Sorry, I apologize. The wrong one. Sorry. For those who grasp it, those who hold on to it, those who draw near it. Likewise, every expression of I'm reading the wrong thing here.
We're cutting your pay in half.
Cut me off. Yeah, I think you got to edit that part. I skipped. Here it is. In your right hand, those who make the right use of it and engage in your knowledge for its own sake will have length of days and surely riches and honor. But those who make the left use of it, who engage in it for its own sake, not for its own sake, but for riches and for honor, they will not succeed. Success suggests an alternative meaning, Rashi writes. Those who study the Torah intensively will merit both length of days and riches and honor, whereas those who study it merely for superficially will merit only riches and honor. You won't get that length of days.
This again comes back to the first paragraph, by the way. I see the theme here now that I didn't see before.
You didn't invite me for the first.
No, not the chapter. The first paragraph. What we just did.
That's a long time ago. I can't.
Yeah,
I'm saying they correlate here.
Mm-hmm.
He goes on. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace. That's the ways of Torah.
Mm-hmm.
So his words of wisdom are telling you if you follow the Torah, then your ways it'll be beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It is a tree of life for those who grasp it, and those who draw near it are fortunate.
And who has a famous slogan like that?
I don't know. Who has a famous
You don't know,
slogan?
no? It's Eitz Chaim's slogan.
Oh, I mean, school.
Yeah.
Well, Bruce will appreciate this. In this chapter, there are 5 or 6 of the sentences are in the daily prayers.
Mm-hmm.
Some are in the blessing after we eat.
Mm-hmm.
Some when we finish our prayers. Some in the middle. And others are just expressions that we normally use.
Mm-hmm.
It's, again, he's telling you that wisdom, but generally wisdom through Torah, will lead you to a better life and to a long life.
You know, I want to interject coming attractions. As you say, verses in here are used in other places. There's an American black minister named Booker T. Washington.
Famous.
Yeah.
Famous.
He spoke in these sentences, and there are actors who read his speeches and recorded like 1920 that he said it in 1900 and that type of thing. A walking book of Proverbs, and people miss that dimension about him. And to me, I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I'm listening to a book about his life. I knew that from the beginning, but no one knows. They haven't even mentioned the biography yet. But if you heard one of these speeches, and they're all perfectly recorded, they're popping out. The phrases are popping out left and right.
He's obviously a scholar who studied these books.
This book is called Up From Slavery.
The Lord founded the earth with wisdom, established the heavens with discernment. With his knowledge, the depths were split and the heavens drew dew. My son, let them not depart from your eyes, and guard sound wisdom and thoughts. And that's a very phenomenal idea. You get wisdom, don't let it just slip away. Often people, especially the young people today, are with their peers, and some of their peers act foolishly, and they know they're acting foolishly. And they know the proper way to behave, and sometimes they let the people overpower their thoughts. And when they know what is the right way to behave, they don't. It says here exactly how you should behave.
In the first or second chapter, they make a metaphor, an allegory, a word image about the the guy who's walking down the street and the highwayman, the one hiding in the ditches, waiting for the horse and the buggy to go by, seize upon him. He says, those are the evildoers who seize upon. It's a beautiful, dark imagery that they present in the first or second chapter.
Again, the passage here, it says, with his knowledge and depths of, my son, let not them depart from your eyes, guard sound wisdom and thought. As I mentioned, it's hard for a lot of people today who are influenced by their peers. This quote-unquote woke, whatever this stuff means. Yeah. People are afraid to speak out. You know what the proper way is and the way to act.
By introducing that word to the show, I'm taking a risk.
Which word?
Woke. By ridiculing that popular word, I'm taking a risk. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I woke up.
No, I'm giving an example of what you're saying.
As I said, Mishlei, Proverbs is telling you truth. It's not here. This guy has his own. This guy is inventing his own truth, creating his own truth. And how many people can he influence by being an influencer, quote unquote?
Even the damn phrase "his truth," as if it's one invention, it's a killer.
No, it is. And he's an influencer, and now he gets thousands or hundreds or even millions of people to accept what they're doing. That's not always bad. That's not always bad. I'm simply saying, but some things are. And a person who knows it's bad has to look in here in Solomon's book and say, wait a second, I know it's bad, I can't follow it. I have to step up and stop it, at least for myself.
I would, at another time, I would contend the phraseology here. That's all I'm whining about.
Oh, you mean I'm not politically correct?
You're stuck in the rut of politically correct on this one example. That's what I would contend.
Okay.
I
don't want to be insulting anybody, Bruce. It's the last thing you want to do.
It's worse.
Unless they sometimes need chastisement, as we said. Sometimes you have to chastise. We continue.
We're around 22.
Oh, you remembered.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, my translation in English is way better than that. You want to switch?
Okay.
Yeah, take it.
But my commentaries are better than your commentaries.
No, you got it handy. But go for it.
What's that?
Second page.
Oh, okay. I got some Seamus here. Wait a second. I don't even know where I am. Wait a sec. I'm 11. Am I supposed? Oh, I got you. Okay, I got you. I need to fix my glasses now. This is small. This is for the 16-year-olds who can read.
Get that optical commercial to run.
I tried to make an appointment with my eye doctor.
Yeah.
They don't answer the phone.
Oh, God. You couldn't see the digits on the phone to punch it.
I'm lucky I remembered his name after 2 years. Okay, where are we here?
22.
I can't find 22 here. Oh, 18, 19, 20. I was 22 once, sold it. There we go. Oh no, I did that. Okay, 22. No, I can't find it. There it is. They will give life to your soul and grace to your throat. Basically meaning how you speak. Then you will go on your way safely and not stumble. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. You will lie down and have a pleasant sleep. You will fear neither sudden terror nor the arrival of the dark destruction of the wicked. For the God will be your trust. He will protect your feet from entrapment. It's beautiful words.
Yeah.
If you have something, a solid footing, you know that it's God's will, you can sleep. You're happy.
I don't know if the tripping, if tripping is being entrapped and tripping is a popular visual phrase used today.
Tripping?
People will say he drove fast, he changed lanes.
Drove quickly. Okay.
You get my point. You get me the baseball bat in the. No, but you hear my point.
I went to university. I got an MBA. I got to learn English.
No, you hear the point that it's a visual metaphor that's not popularly used about people walking and tripping. I don't think so.
I trip quite often. I'm not looking where I'm going. I don't know why it's a wrong word. I mean, you should watch me at night.
Our presenter.
The tripper. The point being here is, for example, if you can look from a different point of view, if you apply to university and you're on edge, you're waiting to see if you're going to get accepted. Once you get that letter, you've been accepted. You sleep that night. You're calm. You're relaxed.
Yeah.
So we're saying this concept of life. when you know that the things that you're doing, how you're acting, how you're performing, in your life is relevant getting by God. And God gave you, told you how to behave. Tells you don't go around swearing all day. Don't go around cursing all day. Don't go around putting down people. Don't go around insulting people. Act properly. Smile. Don't be sad all day. You have something upon which to rely. You can be happy. You go to sleep relaxed. Similarly, the guy's got the letter. I'm in university. I'm calm. So you have something which to rely on.
For me personally, that's a high. How can I put it? That's a high level that I have not yet attained, to relax because of belief in God, that God will comfort me like the proverbial warm blanket. I'm just not there.
It's the biggest problem with teens today, I think.
Yeah.
They're so nervous. They're not content with anything. They're afraid. They just don't know. But those who have God in their lives,
Yeah.
and follow, again, the laws that we're going to learn in the teachings of Mishle, for example,
Yeah.
how to conduct and act properly, they're satisfied with what they have. And they're content with what they have.
Samech
Contentment.
b'chalko.
Samech b'chalko. He's
How do you
satisfied with what he
translate
has. Samech b'chalko person is content with what he has. It's not a person who has 100, wants 200. I'm happy. If God wants to give me more, great.
Yeah.
But I should be happy with what I have. Young people, the young teenagers today, are lacking that. Because they're not sure who they are, and be content with who you are. You know, if you're growing up with a good family, you're teaching you good moral values. And moral values, not immoral values, actual moral values. Then you know you can sleep and be relaxed because you know you're going in the proper path. So we continue.
24.
I can't find a thing here, Bruce. I'm telling you.
You want me past you were what
Can
I
I,
have?
can, I, can, I
See
can't.
where my thumb is? That's 24.
You got better eyes than I got. Okay.
I'm about 20 years
Always.
younger.
That's true. Okay. When you lie down, you'll not be afraid. You'll lie down and you'll have a pleasant sleep. You will fear neither sudden terror nor the arrival of the dark destruction of the wicked. You're not worried at night that some mystical something is going to come out of the woodwork and who knows, haunt you. For God will be your trust, and He will protect your feet from entrapment. When it is within your power to do good, do not withhold it from the one who deserves it. How beautiful. Help your friend. Help your neighbor. When you have it, do not say to your fellow, go away and come back tomorrow, I'll give it to you. Help a person now. You don't know when the person, what he really needs. If he's asking you, it means he needs it. Because tomorrow it may be too late. We don't know if a guy has another meal. Maybe he's lacking his meal. He's starving. That meal can save his life. So don't delay today for tomorrow what you can do today, especially if you're able to help a person. Do not plot evil against your fellow man who lives trustingly with you. Do not quarrel with someone for no reason, or if he has not harmed you in any way. Do not envy a man of violence, or choose any of his ways, for the wayward man is an abomination to God. His private counsel is with the upright. The curse of God is on the house of the wicked, and He blesses dwellings of the righteous. As for the scorners, He will put them to scorn, but to the humble He will grant grace. The wise will inherit honor, but the foolish will get themselves disgrace. So he's ending on these beautiful thoughts of being kind and living with your society, having friends, live and be kind to your friends and do things to your neighbors. Neighborly, it's a beautiful way to live, rather than close your door and not know your neighbors. I don't know my neighbors, by the way, but mind you, Bruce, I should tell you, Bruce is my neighbor.
This is what